All right, here is the shield of faith. So we get straight into business. All right, Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and against powers and against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day. And having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take on the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplications for all saints. Here we have the shield of faith. In addition to all this, take up the shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 16. Description of armor. Made of goat skin or calf skin, stretched over sturdy pieces of wood. The Roman shield stood 4 feet long and was 3 feet wide. Iron rims were fitted along the top and bottom edges, and an iron circle was attached to the center of the shield. The boards curved inward, and a leather strap was fastened to the shield's back. Historical background. Before going into battle, Roman soldiers drenched their leather-covered shields with water. When the fiery arrows of their enemies struck these soaked shields, the flames were immediately extinguished. Soldiers could put their shields together and have more protection. Application. The shield of faith is the Christian's protection against temptation. Whenever we trust that God will provide everything we need, the spiritual forces of evil cannot tempt us with the lie that sin can provide a better life than God will. Ephesians 6:12. In this way, all the flaming arrows of the evil one, every temptation and distraction that Satan may hurl at God's people, can be stopped. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 16. When faced with authentic faith in God, the powers of darkness are overcome. That is why the Apostle John could say, "This is the victory that has overcome the world, even our faith." 1 John chapter 5, verse 4. Other biblical passages. As for God, his way is perfect. He is a shield for all who take refuge in him. 2 Samuel chapter 22, verse 31. My shield is God most high, who saves the upright in heart. Psalms chapter 7, verse 10. He has prepared his deadly weapons. He makes ready his flaming arrows. Psalms chapter 7, verse 13. You give me your shield of victory, and your right hand sustains me. Psalms chapter 18, verse 35. Also, Genesis chapter 15, verse 1, and Psalms chapter 3, verse 3, chapter 18, verse 2, chapter 28, verse 7, chapter 33, verse 20, and chapter 46, verse 9, chapter 76, verse 3. In Greek or Latin term was thyrios, shield or door. Scutum, shield. Thank you again for joining us in this simple application. Remember, this channel is for the very foundations and the beginnings for the Christian, for new believers and those continuing in the faith. Thank you for joining us. If you'd like to comment, subscribe, thank you for joining us today, and stay tuned next time for our next video, which will be let's see, perversion possible, and taking up the helmet of salvation, which is the one I'm really excited for. All right, thank you again, and thank you for joining us today.